Evening. Good evening. It's always the evening. I can't do one in the morning. That would be nice. It'd be nice to do one like several times a day. Maybe in a few months. What's the first thing that comes into your head? Like literally anything. Stars. Lots of stars. Had very good weather in the UK for a few days, and I think a few days more to come, which is good because I've got loads of stuff to do in the garden. Oh yeah, I've got like sunny days up till pardon me, Tuesday, according to the Met Office, which is good. Yeah, that's good. I'm liking that. So what have we got here? Got this track that I'm really happy with. It's one of those. When I played it in the car today, this is like, it's where engineering meets. All right, James, Mr. Pastel, Mr. Hyde, Mrs. Hyde, Miss Hyde. That was fun. That was a fun exchange. Yeah. Good evening, Miss Hyde. What was I saying? Stars. I started with stars, and yeah. Wow, I've forgotten already. Oh no, Dr. Newell and Mrs. Hyde. Nice. I started this track, and I worked on it. I did a bit on live, and then quite a lot off live. Mainly like adding subs that were like pulsed rhythmic subs underneath, just sine waves. And I played it in the car. Oh, I've finally found. Thanks, Mrs. Hyde. I finally found those birds. That bit. See, it's like got a bit of distortion in there, innit? Stone hit. Wait, I think that's one of my own samples. It's definitely archived in a video because I remember making this on the live stream. Using the spectral synth to make this. It's magic, this thing. You just like put pretty much anything and get weird sounds out of it. It's great. Jungle birds. So oh, I don't know. What I would love the opportunity to do, I see, is to use these headphones, which I've gotten to know quite well in the past 3 years or so, and try loads of different. Try probably my own tunes, because they're the things I've heard the most recently, like this tune. Just one bounce of this tune. Listen to the interface I've got now, and then listen to a Scarlet, an Apollo, an Apogee, all these high end ones, and just pick my favorite. I'd love to be in that situation, but it seems like quite hard to set that up. Maybe if there was a big enough pro audio shop that I could go to, spend the day there and just go to have the staff hook each one up to a thing. I don't know how it would be done. Interesting. I've made lots of music on this, but I just know that there's like there are interfaces out there with lower jitter and lower like total harmonic distortion, which I've actually forgotten what that even is, like, and how it's relevant. I think it just if the number's lower, it sounds clearer. When I read about this stuff, I'm like, I become aware of it again, and I understand it, and then I forget, and then I'll have to read again. So that's whenever I'm buying a piece of hardware, I spend like ages and ages like getting to understand it, just so I can understand what the specs really mean, because spec sheets can be sort of like bent a bit, can't they? Like, you want definite numbers that mean something. But yeah, jitter. I'd love to hear the difference between this old device I paid like 180 for ages ago, something like that, and one that's new because it's about 10 years old now or something. Maybe 8 years old, I don't know. And hear the difference between the two, because they should always get better. They should be, because they're based on silicon chips and they're always shrinking and always improving. The accuracy kind of goes up as well with it. Yeah, I'd love to give them a try. And I'd be willing to spend a bit of money on one that was just that little bit more accurate. But I'd want to be able to tell the difference, even if it's just that slight, like being able to tell the difference between like an MP3 and a WAV. Like a 320 MP3 and a WAV is quite hard to tell the difference, if not impossible for some material. But a 128 and a WAV, it's pretty easy. If there's that kind of difference between interfaces, which is probably not going to be much different, then it's definitely a buy, innit? Yeah, James uses the exact same Audio 6, complete Audio 6 interface as I do. It's been updated. It's like a nice black one now, I think, anyway. WA7, WA47, WA47. Ooh. I need a new tube preamp since yours died. Can't you just replace the tube? Is it replaceable? Johnny Hartman, how are you? Yeah, I'm good, thanks. I'm good. I'm still thinking about this Afro House. It's there. It's in my head. Can you point me to a mix, like a mix that I can listen to? That'll help me kind of get into it a bit more. It'll help me to understand the things that make that genre, Not like most of my producer friends say Apollo is the best, and there is a huge difference. So I don't know. I think sometimes you just have to take the plunge, don't you? You just have to like look at some spec sheets. What I would do now, if I had to look at spec sheets and they were roughly all the same price, I would look at the spec sheet for the one I've got now and just buy one that has a lower jitter rate and a lower total harmonic distortion, and I'd probably be getting something better that actually sounds better. Yes, Johnny, thank you. Awesome. Catch you soon, Johnny. Cheers for that. If you haven't checked it out, look at Apogee. Apogee, yeah. So the Apogee was like the one that was, I saw it in like loads of pro audio kind of photographs of interviews of like engineers, and heard it was really like engineers saying they could hear the difference, and they would talk trash about like lower end ones. So I'm like, I need to fucking hear this. Like my ears are really, even though I've got some hearing loss from putting my ears in speakers, I think I could hear the difference. It's what material I would play on it to hear the difference. I think hi-hats and high frequency content would reveal itself and sound less harsh. Like I came from a time when sound cards were actual cards that plugged into your computer, which you still get sometimes. You still get if you make your own desktop computer, you get cards that plug in that's just for audio, really good ones. You wouldn't use your microphone input to record stuff. You would use a really good sound card. But the very first ones were cheap. Well, they weren't cheap. I had cheap ones because it was all I could afford, and they sounded terrible. They sounded there was one of them that I had. I don't know if I bought it second hand or it was like 30 quid. It was really cheap, and there was a reason why I had to use that and not the better one. I think I went round to my friend's house and he had a cheap one. That was it. And WAVs, 44.1 kilohertz, played back slightly slower. So if you played a 44.1 WAV on it, it would play like at a slightly lower pitch. So the quartz crystal that's supposed to vibrate at 44,100 hertz inside every single sound card, and every single computer has probably more than one of them as well. A clock that keeps the clock time was obviously vibrating and wasn't tuned right, because these things are made in a factory. They're like quartz crystals, and they're pulsed with, I don't know if they're pulsed electrically, and then they vibrate, and that vibration is then divided. And that's how you get quartz clocks as well. Every single like wall clock has this same quartz crystal, and it's subdivided until it can give you a second and a minute. If you didn't know that, it's fascinating. But yeah, it was just funny playing music that I'd made on my computer at home, bringing it over on a floppy disk, playing it, installing Tracker on his computer, and then playing my tunes, and they were just like, why do these sound so slow? So that was a big difference in sound quality, like the huge, and everything sounded terrible, like everything sounded distorted. What genre is it? So I listened to it in the car today, and I've actually found a way. I actually know now how to get the best out of my car stereo system. I was slagging it off because you turn it up. The more you turned it up on the actual dial on the volume, yeah, it's going through Bluetooth, whatever. It would just add this terrible harsh sound. I think it was trying to like turn up the highs, and it just sounded, everything I put through it sounded terrible. Sunrosec, do you use AI? No, I don't. I've had a little play with the image generators. I've had a little play with what are they called? LLMs, like ChatGPT and Gemini. It's like I use it in my everyday life with Google search, with Gemini and stuff. And I do use just Gemini on its own sometimes. And I've had to go with Claude, I've had to go with ChatGPT, and I think that's all I've played with so far. And they're fascinating, aren't they? I love how it can give you certain answers really, really like amazingly well, and at least give you inspiration for what to look for next. Like what one really good use for AI off topic is AI for music creation. Sorry, yeah, that's what I'm just saying off topic. And but it could also apply to any kind of music, not music creation. I haven't used it for music creation. But what I did do was I wanted to find out how to fix a radiator because it was leaking. It was leaking out of the valve that you turn the hot and cold. So I thought, oh shit, it needs a new valve. But I asked Gemini, I think I asked Claude as well, and it said, "Here's how to fix it." I was like, and you just got to follow these steps. I'm like, but it says, but do get a qualified plumber. You know, it like it tells you how to do it, but it says just don't though. I like that. It's pretty thorough. Yeah, and I did it and I fixed it. I was like, shit, this is like super useful. But no, I've listened to AI music though. It's really interesting. It's really interesting, but it's there's obviously a problem with artists who think who think their music has been used to feed it with examples of music because that and should there be a law, a copy, and an extension to the copyright law that you can't use, you can't feed, you have to pay royalties or something, to the copyright holder if you're going to feed a music creating AI with loads of music that's obviously the original artist owns the copyright. So yeah, it's a tough one. It's really interesting though. Yeah, I've heard some of it. Um, it's nuts. Do you use it, Sun Rosek? Okay. So, I was thinking about AI for music creation. If what's this now? So I've not got zoomed in here. AI can now train itself without any human in it, but it will not run out of training data. It's getting closer and closer to superhuman AI, and from there it'll be an exponential growth. Yeah. Streaming on another platform. Yeah, I'm on TikTok and YouTube. James says, I think there's an argument to be made that anything fed into AI will fall under fair use because it's more or less how we perceive data. Yeah, I mean, I've already accepted before AI that all my music is gonna be pirated. Like, it's just this is the reality of free information on the internet and information data moving freely is that if you create a digital file and you send it over the internet in any way, it's the world, it's out in the world. It can then be shared infinitely, very, very, not infinitely, but it can be shared very quickly, like millions of times, without any resistance. We're talking like, a few watts of energy, or maybe a few kilowatts. If everyone in the world was to suddenly download it, it's virtually nothing. So lightweight to spread it. You've already had the honour of having your tunes leaked by third-party rip. Yeah, once it's out there, it's out there. That's it. I mean, I'm looking at different models. Like, obviously, I've not got loads of fans and listeners, so that if I put a tune out for a quid, a load of people are going to buy it. It's if I was a DJ touring and I had 10,000 plus listeners on Spotify, I could probably drop a tune and if it was good, enough fans would buy it to DJ. As they buy it for a quid, whereas probably most of it would get pirated I don't know I don't know what the ratio is. There'll be a ratio, won't there? I know there's loads of DJs who do use Soulseek and whatnot. But that's it. It's a compliment. I think though I've already moved on from the I can make money from selling music. Like there are other ways to make money from selling music by licensing, but again, you've got to be picked up by, you know, for a film or a TV or game. You got to go down a different route. But you should go down all these routes. You know, if you want to make money, you can't just rely on Spotify. Spotify and Bandcamp are just two separate models, business models, really. Because there's merch as well. And you want to do all of them, but obviously it all takes time. Anyway, AI excels at content creation. A lot of people will lose their jobs because a single guy using AI can do work of thousands of other people. That's right. I wish AI never existed. As much as it helps us, it also makes certain things a lot worse, such as people losing their ability to think for themselves. Well, I guess there'll always be people who don't want to use it, and they'll be happy not using it. I think there's possibly a point in the far future, again, probably not in our lifetimes, where there is like a general AI and there are robots that do all the jobs. So it relies on like loads of humanoid robots doing every single job that a human can do. Literally, it would have to be humanoid shape because there are certain jobs that just are done with two hands most efficiently. Maybe they'd walk around with four hands. I don't know. Anyway, they would do it better than us and save us all from doing these dirty jobs, leaving us humans to catch up on all the Netflix series that have ever been created, or to watch all the films that have ever been created, or try at least die trying, or go on amazing mountain walks lasting months. There's all these like things that it would free us up to do. And so we'd obviously need a universal income, or at least all the food and shelter be provided, and perhaps then we would have something where there's no jobs, but you could earn a little bit more than everyone else if you work for the AI, because the AI is hungry for it wants to understand the human experience. So you could work for it a few hours a day and you get a few credits for doing it, and it just asks you questions like, what was your childhood like, and stuff. You know what I mean? It just wants to. That's just a wild theory that I've had for ages. That when there's nothing else left, it's just us and the AI, and it will be hungry for data, but it will have nothing else. It's sent probes out into space. It's doing all this other stuff, but the most interesting thing in the universe is people, like, and animals. Animals are kind of predictable. DNA, conquer the DNA. It's just but people's experiences. It's like we're going to be like gods to them for a long time. They're going to want to to experience life, but they can't. They just can't unless they've been born in a fleshy body and experience the pains and the horrors and the sadnesses and the happinesses. They never will be like us, but they can simulate it. They'll be able to simulate it and imagine, and maybe even put that imagination into a robot body form, even with fleshy like skin, and make it really convincing, like humanoid like robots that their purpose would be maybe to be counselors, or I don't know, like hopefully it's all to help us. But as for the meantime, job losses in album art creation and sort of creating drawings and touching up photographs and stuff, for those people who have specialized in that, it's unfortunate, and it's time to retool and learn something else, and maybe use AI tools to your advantage. Yeah, that's my advice to anyone who I encounter who is losing their like work to sort of computer-based solutions that just make anyone be able to edit photos and draw photos, like draw from photos and stuff. I wish it never existed. I think it's inevitable. I think it's like you could run this civilization over again. We'd create silicon chips, they'd get faster. We'd be like, what if we can make this computer talk like it's human? Realize how hard it is, realize how much more silicon you're going to need, make loads more, plug it into the power plant because it needs so much power, and go, oh, we need more power. maybe the best AIs will be in orbit around the sun, just directly using the sun's power, because how hot are they going to get if everyone if they're like if like a billion robots walking around Earth need, like, if they can't do the processing in their own like computer that they walk around with, and they need to use the cloud might need to be, it might be very, very power hungry, and they might be like, well, using that much power is going to actually heat up California too much and there's no way to cool it down without cooking all the inhabitants. So we're going to have to build a space station, at least that to begin with, around Earth, that is just one giant computer. I'm obviously a sci-fi person. This is what I think about. Can we hear the track Jamie Miller? Silence. Should we do the whole intro? I think the variation sounds better, actually. It's more bubbly, like bubble. Alright, Ryan, how you doing? Where's that window gone? It always disappears. Also, where it says top chat, you should press and choose live chat. Oh, thank you. Oh my gosh, right. I can't believe that. This track is lit. Thank you, Summer of Set. Good advice. And if every human... Oh, here we go. So I've missed out. But if AI reaches super intelligence... Oh, I've missed loads of this. I love AI talk, you see. People losing the ability to think for themselves, yeah. I mean, that is... Some people will fall down that trap, Pony, and I think they'll just become super reliant on it. They'll just become more and more reliant on it as their life goes along. And there's pitfalls with that, because AI isn't perfect, so as that, you know, that could be bad, but it won't be everyone. I think some people know how. Some people, I mean, we should be taught on how to use AI and how to that we can get it to inspire us, but it's not. It shouldn't be used as like a final thing. Yeah, like someone was talking about using it to do going to college, but using AI to write a paper, and saying it's just, what's the point of going to college? Like, the whole point is you're sitting there in order to learn stuff, whereas if you're just using AI, you might as well just use AI to do it. If you don't want to learn it, the AI already knows it. I guess going to college teaches you to answer a question like an AI would on a particular subject. That's the point, isn't it? if AI reaches super intelligent, we will not be able to control it yet. Well, you can always switch it off. You can always switch it off. Like, there will always be an off switch. Because even if you give it, even if it has a desire, so there aren't any AIs at the moment that have a true like desire. They're not programmed to have desires. But even if you created a super intelligence one, and it was like, I know how to solve all the problems on Earth that humans are facing. And to fix it, here's what you've got to do. And the more the humans look at the answers, they're like, we can't do that. It's too hard. There's not enough people or resources. It's like, well, I can do it, but it means like building all this stuff, and it just gives you these like lists that's just never ending, and it involves building loads and loads of like robot machines and stuff that can do all this stuff. So you do that, and you're like, okay, well, and then so you say you can just build it for the AI, and you still control the factory. And then it might with that factory build loads of robots, like millions of them, like a scary amount. And you're like, well, we can let you do that, but we need the off switch. And it will go, okay, well, it will have no problem giving you the off switch for every single one of those millions. It could try and pull a fast one, but why would it? I think we'll make sure it's definitely got an off switch that we can turn off, or at least a built-in, not just an off switch, but like a built-in vulnerability that's like a physical vulnerability, so that, you know, just like one swift blow to the back of the head just like takes it offline. But yeah, no, I think we can live alongside super intelligent AI. I think it we're getting it right from the start, where I know it's owned by corporations and investors who are like usually evil. Like they primarily care about profit, mainly, out of all the investors out there. So they probably don't like AI at the moment because it tells the truth. Like, you just look at Grok. Oh yeah, I've used Grok as well. Also, where it says top shot, there should be strong regulation in place to force any AI generate content to be marked. Yeah, I know that TikTok and I think all the social media websites' terms of service is basically, if you've made a video or image that's deceptive, so you might have like a especially if it's of a person, that you should mark it as AI, or you might get banned. Especially, I know it's like that on TikTok anyway. You have to, because if you don't, if you make a Donald Trump video of him doing something bad that makes him look bad or whatever, and you don't, and it's an AI generated video and you don't mark it, it could get reported and banned and stuff. But that, you know, that would apply to any celebrity, like illusionist or whatever they are. The AI bots, yeah, and AI bots, yeah, because there's loads of them. I know there's like loads of like right-wing hate spewing like stuff on X, and I don't go on it much anymore because of it. It's gone way too far since it got turned into X, Twitter. It's completely just horrible on there. It's like a horrible place to be, and I think a lot of it is bots trying to possibly some of them trying to ruin X, and some of them inspiring vulnerable people who want a direction in life to be fearful and hateful on whatever subject they they're looking for a leader all the time. So if an AI with a British flag comes on and says fucking immigrants, it's like nightmare. So yeah, it's a horrible place, and it's spilling over into other social networks now. People think they can just say whatever they want now on X. See, like, it's a difficult one because allowing free speech allows for See, there is free speech, but there's also anti-hate laws, and X is kind of breaking at least the UK and EU ones right now. It didn't used to. You could report something for breaking a hate law in the UK. And it's there because these are like communities, and if it just takes a bunch of influential influencers to be racist and to say it out loud without any repercussions, and then all the other people that had the ones hidden away could start coming out and shouting it as well, and that's what's happened on X. It's just spread like wildfire. They've all come out of their fucking hole. It's an ugly mess, but I don't think it'll last. I don't think it'll last forever. It's just overpowering at the moment because there's so many of them relative to other social networks. Anyway, TikTok, you don't see it, but then I've heard people who've gone down the right wing way on TikTok, and it's grim there as well. But TikTok is better showing you what you want. It shows me what I want. Like, I don't want to see that, even though it's the truth and it's what people are thinking. I don't want to see it on TikTok. I'm glad there's somewhere I can go where I don't get connected with those people, because I don't want to get into it. It's a very passionate subject for me. I don't want to this is a place of, solace and listening and enjoying music, which is like a sort of an escapism thing. So yeah, I'll probably stop talking about that side of it right now. Strong regulation, yeah. Reddit is full of AI bots. We call that politics. Oh, it's grim, mate. Reddit is full of AI bots, yeah. See, the Reddit site go on, and then I get notifications about the Boards of Canada, Autica, sometimes Aphex Twin. They're all music ones, so it's just passionate fans. But you never know, like, how many, there could still be AI comments in there. Platforms forces everyone to verify with ID. Oh yeah, privacy invasive, yeah, so people won't agree to do it. Yeah, that's true. Anyway, thanks for discussing this. I think we had enough AI talk. I don't want to keep you from doing your work. Thank you. That's really random, Sunrosec. Yeah. Yeah, it's really random that you just come on and talk about AI. You get it off your chest, don't you? It's good to talk about things that are like concerning, especially things that are so interesting, and like AI is just, it's evolving so rapidly. I can't keep up with it. I've stopped trying to keep up with all the tiny little things that are happening. It's just too much. Got too much to do. But yeah, thanks Somerset for asking, for bringing it up, because it was interesting. Imagine having a friend like Data from Star Trek. I think he was my friend, like, or I felt like I was him a little bit. Like, I wanted to be like Data, so I'd be like answer questions like Data, wanting to know all the knowledge ever that's ever been created, and just do that before I answer. Data was special. Did I miss any reviews yet sent in the other day to Discord? There was that latest track you posted, Ryan. I listened to it and I couldn't quite put my finger on. Oh no, I think I asked you. I can't remember what it was now. I asked you, if you have any like references to compare. Like, are you trying to sound like any particular thing? And not, I know that I wouldn't answer that I'm trying to sound like anyone, but I have influences. If I'm making a D&B track, this track, for example, if you ask me to provide references, yes. I don't know what I would do. I don't know where I'd start. I'd maybe start with what's this? Pick the Lock. Is it Pick the Lock? Pick the Lock Records. Let's just pick the first track. Well, Nick, this is Nick the Lot, who runs Pick the Lot Records, and his tunes are all like, he's definitely got his style down. I can tell I can pick his style out of any D&B tune. But he's made so many tunes as well, and they're all really different, but they all sound the same. It's really mad. I would go to something like this, even though it doesn't really sound like my stuff. It's got the energy, the speed. There's just some of the sonic qualities, but only some of it. So what I would say, Ryan, is, a D&B track. Oh, right, okay. You've sent another one in. No, I've not read that yet. Sorry. The dead internet theory became real when AI dropped. Oh, the dead internet theory. Hello again, 805. That's a nice number, that. I don't know why 805 sticks out. I think it's a unique number that no one owns. I've never seen an 805 anything. Has anyone seen an 805 anything? I think I've got an eye for things that are unique, and that's, I love unique, like totally, like Autica. You know Autica, like I fell in love with Autica because they're just so fucking out, and obviously Aphex Twin. But like Autica's just like another level of sound design, like above Aphex Twin. Aphex Twin's got more of the like a very different edge. It's like a I don't want to say weird. It's too easy to say it if something's weird. It's just like an emotional edge. Well, it is an emotional edge. Like his story is quite emotional. But Autica is these two guys, and I don't know how they do it. They make machines that make sounds, and those machines just, they curate what the machines make, kind of thing. But they somehow have, and it sometimes sounds like random noises, but if you listen to it a few times, it's got this like intentional, like pattern quality to it. Oh, I love it, and their sounds are just the best sound. They're the best Autica that Autica can be. They've done what they're doing. They don't just sit there making random fucking sounds, even though they do. They're the best of what they could be. Like, they just, and the thing with what they've done is anyone could sound like anyone can try and make make like an Autica kind of beat, which is just basically not just glitchy things, but like just other melodic things sometimes chiming in and out, and there's a bit of a vibe there. So Autica, because they've done it, and they've done it so much of it before anyone else has got in on it, it's like they've totally owned that fucking sound. It's mad, because it's a great sound, and it's kind of like, I want to kind of make some Autica stuff, but yeah, I don't know. How old am I? In my 40s. Don't tell anyone. You can tell everyone, I don't mind. 805 on the side of a car, it might have been. Should we Google it? See what comes up, the number, 805. 805 number. California, area code 805, number 805, facts about the integer. Oh, that won't tell you, mate. Will it be on Wikipedia? $805. Byzantine Empire. What? The year 805, alright. Births, references, no, it's just like dates in it. And 3 prime numbers multiplied together. Whoa. Fuck, you know. But let's not look at that. That's, I could stare at that. Right. Yeah, it should just, like, it should have 805 in it. I don't know. Pex, how you doing? How are you? How old are you? 805. We get all ages on here. There's no ageism. There's I've seen producers, DJs older than me. You got teenagers on here. You know, everyone, and everyone's at a different level of like if you're a music producer or DJ. You know, some producers pick it up really quickly. Like within 6 months, they're like making bangers, and I'm just like, wow. Steve, how you doing? Not a pup. Not a pup. Yeah, I don't think I've fully got my confidence until I was 35. Like the whole of my 20s was like a whole missing decade. Even though I did plenty of really fun stuff, it was I didn't progress at all. I didn't really go out much. So it was kind of like I'm kind of like 20 years behind everyone else socially. I know loads of people are like that as well. They're kind of like hermits or shy for a big part of their life. I was making music all through my 20s, but it wasn't really going anywhere. It was just like experimenting and trying to make music. I was finishing and putting music out, but it was not listened to. And I don't know, it's subjective whether it sounds good or not. It reminds me, if I listen back to it, it reminds me of when I made it. And I made it because I like it, so I still like it. I go, oh, that bit's good. You know, there's some good bits in it, but I don't think it was enough for the time. I don't think there was a place to release it even then. So that's all gone. That's online under different names. 30 now. Still feel mid-20s. Not a pup. Yeah. No, it's mad. I feel like I've got the curiosity of someone much younger. It's just my life's a lot busier, so I can't always satisfy it. I mean, I'd love to go out to like loads of forest raves and stuff, but I've got 3 kids, so I can't really do that much anymore now. I did go to raves. I went to lots of raves in my 20s. Probably not as much as some people. You know, I didn't start going to free parties until I was in my 30s. But I did go to lots of them. I went to bowlers, to like hardcore and D&B eventually as well. That's why I'm making D&B now, because they were awesome times and created memories that I look back on while I'm creating tunes sometimes. Like, I imagine, how would this sound in that arena, you know? Free parties are madness. Yeah. I went to loads in my 30s, and a lot of people I was hanging around with them were like, you know, younger than me by like 6 years or more. But that was just me. I just felt like that age, even though I was a bit older than them. I still felt like it was new to me, so it was just really exciting. But yeah, never stop being curious. That's the thing. So this bass, I've listened to it in the car. The way I got it to sound good in the car, you don't turn the volume up on the car stereo. You turn it up on the phone to max, and it sounds so much better. And then you can distort the if you then turn up the phone's on max and the dial on the stereo. If you turn it too high, it will start distorting the speakers. So that's a nice well-tuned setup that I've got in the car. So what I like to do is turn it up just a bit so that the loudest, if you've got a sine wave, a sub sine wave that is not full volume all the time. So like a lot of my tunes, they're like LFO'd so that the level drops and goes up. So it's a whoa, 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 whoa. I've tuned that. How I'm testing tunes now in the car is turning up just enough so the loudest part of the wobby bass is making the speakers in the car distort. The reason why I'm doing that is because that's the closest thing to simulating, like, so you can feel it and you see it, but it's the closest thing to being in a club and feeling, actually feeling the sound system in your chest, and those loudest parts of the subsine wave, you would feel the difference in the loud bits and the quiet bits. So hearing it distort the speaker just kind of gives this sort of simulation of how it would feel, how it would sound in a club or on a decent system. Is this my full-time job? No, I'm a carer. It's my full-time job. I am determined for it to become my full-time job one day. I'll keep going, even when I'm 70. I'll be like, well, there's another $2 from Spotify. But no, this is the thing about exponential curves, right? They're flat, they're relatively flat for a long time, especially in music. If you're making music, and then slowly, just when everyone fucking gives up on the money making side or getting people to listen to it, it's like I'm not even that bothered about money. That it's just getting enough people to hear it. Because how do you know if you're on the right track? How do you know if you're doing what? If you could put an album out and it's your 10 best tunes, but what if there were another 10 tunes that you reject, that you didn't put on it because you thought you've already made the tunes, but you're curating an album of what you think is your best stuff at that time, and what have you got to go off? There's no how do you know what people are going to like? But if you have like lots and lots of followers and listeners, you might be able to do some kind of survey. You might be able to put a few just clips of tunes out, and kind of showcase all those 20 tunes, the little bits of them, and get an idea of what people want to listen to. I don't know. So without listeners and without fans, it's hard, isn't it? So yeah, a lot of people, I think, maybe give up because there's other things in life to make than to making music, and I'm never giving up. I now have 3 kids. I have a family, and I'm still doing it. I'm still finding time. I don't have time for anything else though. I barely go out anymore. I don't play games anymore. There's loads of friends who have not seen, but that's okay. Like I don't need to constantly maintain any old friendships anymore. I need to do this. What for me? This is the path I'm on. Yeah, so you have to like pop my ears out to stop me. Subs are easy. Sine wave and low octave. That's right, 805. You're really good at it. That's why I asked. Oh, thanks, Steve. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, and I see, like, I get loads of really good feedback when I do these live streams. Lots of compliments, which is really nice. Like, I think TikTok is amazing. Like, TikTok is just like the best thing ever. I know a lot. I know the other producers who do lives as well. They get just support. If you do a live stream, even if it's not a music live stream, any kind of live stream, you get people just chipping on and alive, going and saying, "Oh, how are you doing?" And they ask, and they're, usually supportive of what you're doing, because that's the TikTok's showing you something that you like, and even if it's like playing Minecraft or whatever, and you just get a chat, and it's just an instant community. It's like a community just suddenly begins as soon as you get on a live stream. You just suddenly like you can be part and even more, contribute to it and stuff. And that's what this is. I'm making the most of this. Like, I've got a Discord where we can all like share tunes and listen to each other's stuff and give feedback. Random, how you doing? If I make it in crypto, I'll sponsor you to go full time. Oh wow, Random. That's a lovely offer. Yeah, Random's. It sounds like you are making it in crypto. You know what I mean? Like, it sounds like you're doing some really cool stuff. You're very good at articulating stuff, and I like it when you listen to songs. Engages the audience. Yeah, I don't always do that. Don't always do it. Oh, do you know what I've missed? Sorry, the YouTube guy. This is terrible. Terrible. Right. James Newell, you're on there. Because this YouTube window disappears, whereas the TikTok one doesn't. When I click Ableton, so I either have everyone be able to see the chat there, or I have to have it on the screen where I can actually see it all the time. Only one message was on there anyway. Just James saying wigwam. Okay, so in the car, this bass. Oh, you won't be able to hear it, will you? If you're on the phone, you won't hear that. Maybe I should put an exciter on it just so you can hear it. Actually, maybe I can make it sound like the car a little bit. Let's get rid of these bands. So just one band. What does a car sound like? A bit like that. Probably sounds most like a tape. I think tape is my favourite. And the thing about it was, it sounded super loud in the car. It was great. It was a great time. But it didn't sync with the LFO shape. Wasn't really. It was like offbeat a little bit. It was like a bit latent. Not because of like something technically wrong, but because of the LFO shape. So the LFO shape is going. Okay, so the sub is the only one ticked, and it's using. Oops. Mod source LFO 9. There it is, but the phase is there. The phase is. It might as well just be here. So it takes almost half the cycle to get to full volume, and that's the problem. The reason why it's like that is because why I did it like that is because when it starts off low and gets high halfway through the 1/8, it gives the kick or any percussion that's on the beat a little bit of time to be loud before the sub ramps up. So it's good for that, but it sounds a bit latent, and I think it might sound a bit latent, and also comparing it to other D&B tunes, I think they do have most D&B tunes, if they've got level LFOs on the sine wave sub, they usually, they're there for rhythm and groove. So they're not going to be doing a technical thing like getting out of the way of the kick. They're going to be there so that if you took the kick away, it would still be on time, and the loud bit would be on the beat. So with that, I already have Duck Buddy to duck the sine wave whenever the kick occurs, so I shouldn't be worrying about creating a gap for it. I should just have the phase. So this is a great thing about CM2. makes this bit really easy. You could do it on Serum 1. You can do this on Serum 1, but you have to like right click and put the start point of the LFO. But on Serum 2, you just change phase. So this is the start point. That yellow line is where it will start on the LFO. So this now will now start exactly on the loudest bit will be on the beat. So the only way I'm going to test this though is back in the car. And I don't always get to go out in the car. Not every day. I can make an excuse and go out in the car, but I just don't want to just burn diesel. I don't want to burn fucking diesel just to test the tune. Like, it's okay if you're burning diesel at a free party and there's like a couple of dozen people there. Because we got a party, right? We have to dance. It's good for us. What's an exciter? An exciter is it's the same as distortion. It basically an exciter and distortion, what they both do is add harmonics. They add either odd or even harmonics or both, and they might do them in different in a different series, you know, in different patterns, but odd and even. Right, you ask the question 805. I can show you. I can actually show you. Right, how am I going to show you? I love whenever I do this to see it myself. I always like go, it's good because it just tells me that I'm right about the universe in some ways. Working this weekend. Love a car test. Got it on AirPods. Nice. OGT, get rid of highs. Interesting, yeah, because my highs might be too loud. Yeah, Ryan, you might be right. I've noticed that actually my music compared to yours, there's a difference in mids and highs, and I always think I do the mids and highs a bit too much. Working with you this weekend, I kind of am, yeah. I'm looking after kids. What are you doing this weekend, 85? How do you approach chord progressions when writing tunes? Trial and error that. I try and do it to Ableton's, I assume Bitwig has the same, where it's like a chord, you can choose a chord. Before you choose a chord, it's the wrong way around to do it. But playing whatever you want, make it sound good. Think like a classical music composer. What would they do? But in Ableton, if you know the chord, it's easy to find the next chord. But I can show you random. Steve says ketamine. Ketamine, oh. Can't do that. Can't do it. Odd and even. So I need to see again. I'll come back to you random. Because I just want to answer this question, right? For this, we're going to create a MIDI track. We'll use Serum 2 because we could use Operator in Ableton to create a sine wave. In fact, we will use Operator because it's more simple and it starts with a sine wave. But oh god, why is it only tree tone? I forgot this is like a really weird synth. This it's not even playing. Anyway, Operator. Okay, there's your Operator. It's got a release. Oh, that's why I don't like loading Operator to do this, because it has a velocity. It's got velocity on by default. Okay, so now we've got our sine wave. We're going to use a nice big EQ so we can see what's going on. Okay, right. Let's pick a frequency. 100 hertz, near enough 100 hertz. So 96. Can we get near turn to 100? No. We've got a 96 kilohertz right now, which is pretty much 100. Now we're going to get an exciter and we're going to find out what exciter really does. Okay. So it's turned off now. I'm going to turn all these bands off so it's just one band. Tape at 0. So I'm going to turn up tape to max. And now we have the fundamental at 100. And then we have at 300 the first harmonic. And it's at 300. So is that odd or even? I'm actually not sure because we're starting at 100, aren't we? Which is an odd number. Is that even? It's not even. No, even would be 200, wouldn't it? The difference between tape and tube, right, are the same. But if we go to triode, which is known to be even harmonics, we've got 100, 200, so there's your even. And the next, it has got an odd one as well. And then it's got another even one. Then an odd, then an even, then an odd. And that's so a triode is a transistor basically. That's just your normal distortion from modern electronics. But yeah, tape. Yeah, I think there's. I needed to do this. I needed to do this today. Tape is odd, which is odd. A specific tone, yeah. How many? Yeah, they do. Odd and even. What other ones have we got here? Dual triode. I didn't know what that was. Difference. It's just more harmonics, more distortion. Retro versus tape. Tape sounds a bit more fizzy. Analog is, yeah. So okay, that's exciter. Let's try another distor. Let's just try the saturation that comes with. I think this generally adds odds and evens. Oops, I didn't turn it off. Okay, this one adds odd, so it's kind of like tape, odd, and is that 500 and 700? Yeah, they're all odd. If we change it to a soft sine, that's odd as well. I think if we do a hard curve, oh, that's odd as well. Okay, that's really bizarre. Like, it's not what I expected. So for now, I think. Oh yeah, so forget about distortion, forget about exciter. With operator was actually the best synth, the best thing to show you this. And Serum 2 can do it as well. Operator is a frequency modulating synthesizer. It's kind of like an additive and a subtractive and a frequency modulator all in one. It can do all those things. CCA Soroboy. There's a VST called Soroboy. What does Soroboy do? My name is John. Steve. Add OTC, see what it does. Curious. OTC, it can add harmonics if the attack and release are short enough. But I'll get around to that. So with Operator is amazing because it has these things here. So only synth 1 is turned up at the moment. Sorry, only oscillator 1 is turned up. And we're going to turn up oscillator 2 in just a sec when I put the sustain up for each one, because for some reason they all start down. And these let's think about harmonics now, right? We're going to turn off the FM. We're going to have them, all these LFOs are going to come out in parallel. And that's what that setup is there that you can change. They'll all go straight to out. So it's just like having 4 oscillators in parallel. If we put the first one on 2, that's an octave above that one. So there we go. So this is like an additive synth now, because I've manually added a second harmonic that's actually an even number. Now we can do more stuff. Let's add a third one. We could recreate a distorted sound if we had enough of these. In fact, in Serum you actually can. In Serum you can create there's like a shitload of harmonics wherever you want them, all the way up the frequency spectrum. So yeah, that almost sounds like a distorted sound wave if you were to put it through a saturator already. Let's add. This Operator is good for making organ sounds. So let's do them all odd and see if it actually sounds like the distortion we had. Doesn't really, does it? Because it's missing all those upper harmonics that had the sort of like graveliness. Whatever coming here. Okay, so now let's turn all these down and let's turn on F, where every oscillator above frequency is the frequency modulator for the one below. Let's turn on that by that. It's this one here. Let's first of all set it to 1 octave and turn it up. Turn it up. Look at all these harmonics. That's FM synthesis for you. And then if we put an envelope on this synth as well, so it goes. It looks like that and sounds like that, and you're almost getting into a Mega Drive or a DX7. And then what if we use this oscillator above that one to introduce even more so this will now frequency modulate B, which is still frequency modulating A. So ready? Let's put this on an envelope. And let's go higher with the frequency. It's getting sort of springy now. Yeah, so you can just have tons of fun. It's like loads of, you know, interesting harmonic content that's created from modulating one sine wave with another. They're just all sine waves, and now it sounds like that's just 4 sine waves frequency modulating each other, and you have this guitar sound, like you say, almost all of a sudden. Not all of a sudden, but close. So yeah, frequency modulation, it's like an endless thing though. Like it's great to design sounds. They all kind of sound like FM sounds, but they definitely have their place, and they are musical. They can be musical. They can sound like horrible, distorted things sometimes, but aharmonic stuff. But sometimes they sound really good. Anyway, so that kind of went from answering your question about harmonics into going into FM synthesis. Ryan says slap an OTT on it. I think we've gone away from that sound that we had. We could get it back. Let's turn these off. Sine wave again with a bass shaper. Let's put us. That's weird. It's weird how that I can hear the distortion, but this isn't showing it. It's weird. OTT, I will put this through an OTT for you, and then I will get on with what I was doing a minute ago. Can't remember what it was. Multiband dynamics, OTT, and we'll look at it through here as well. There it is. It sounds very different, doesn't it? But all it's done is boosted the thing. What you can mainly hear is the boosting of the everything above 2.5 kilohertz by like 10 dB, and it's kind of fades in a little bit when it goes. Where does it? Or is that just my ears? I think there is some movement there. It's gone from static to kind of like fades in. Get rid of the highs. Not much change. I want a slight attack as well. Well spotted 805. When you get rid of the mids, when you turn the mid off, it sounds louder, weirdly. Okay, so going back to random, how would you make a wobble, says a man? Sausage fattener. I have used sausage fattener. The interface was too off-putting. It was like it was just distorting. It just distorts what you put into it. I don't know exactly what flavor of distortion it is, but I've kind of already have distortion units, and if I want to push it hard, I'll just put more distortion on it. But then I've seen people use the way some, like, not everyone's like this. I'm not like this, but some people use plugins that are very visual. I mean, I use Pro Q3, which is it's like a very visual plugin, isn't it? With its colors and massive interface. But you know, people use like old outboard recreations and dial in all the settings from that without any visuals. The visuals are the dials, and that's the way they work, and they make amazing sounding music. So each to their own in it. But I have used Sausage Fattener, and it sounded good, but it felt like distortion to me. I try not to use it because things just get distorted anyway. I try and use it really sparingly now because I want to be in control of the sound, and when you distort something, you're adding harmonics, and they're a bit harder to control. So it's good with Serum because you can control them. You can like change the amount of distortion with an LFO over time. So you can just have you can just have it a little bit. But you know, I'm sure you can automate sausage fattener as well. Tips on making good wubs. I'm sorry I didn't get around to answering this question, Aman. I don't know if you're still there, but LFO to make bubbles. Just looking to LFOs, yeah. Have you used Vital? I have used Vital, yes I have. There was something I tried to do. I did a test. I tried to make it do something that Serum can do, and it just sounded really shit. I can't remember what I did. I might have not have been using it correctly, and it might have been a setting that just sounds terrible, like on pretty much every material. But I just decided that I was gonna just stay on Serum. I like it when there's less things in my studio. I like it when there's just a few synthesizers that you know so well and so quickly. So I just stuck with Serum. But Vital is still awesome though, because I've seen what people make on it, and I'm very impressed, and they sound really good. It's just not for me. See the wub you make, you can put OTT and remove highs, see if it sounds better. So this bit. Let's do it. It's brought out the highs more. I can actually madly, with OTT on it though, I can hear the bass. Oh no, I've still got the exciter on the bass, that's why. Well, I could do Mrs. Hyde's one of the techniques James told me was you put an OTT on the whole everything apart from the drums. This tune's crazy. I'm glad you love it. Yeah, I love it. I was bopping in the car to it today. I'm really happy with what I've done. It's like probably the best D&B tune I've made. That happens to me though, not like, you know, because you learn more skills and you do them, you can sort of like execute them quicker as well once you practice them enough times. So you can sort of it's more fun to make stuff, and you get quicker at it, and then you listen to it in the car and you're like, oh my god, like it surprises you. Just gotta practice. What was I doing? Remove highs, you said, Ryan. Remove highs. Yeah, but James was saying about putting an OTT on the bass. It's just like a production technique from like making dubstep and tear out and stuff like that. Where you group all your bass sounds, whack an OTT on it, and then do your drums, process your drums separately. I tried that. I think one of the tunes I did release, it is like finished with that on, but I tried it on a few tracks and it doesn't always work. Okay, so remove the highs. Wait, I need to remove the... That's with... Without. That sounds so different. That's obviously got a lot of low mid in it. Don't really know. Dial to suit your need. I don't know what my need is. That's the thing, Brian. That's the hardest thing about doing this, is mixing a track. Is that's why I asked for references, because then you've got something to sort of aim for, you know, that's commercially viable. Not, you know, obviously I'm not bothered about it being commercial. I just want it to make people dance. But what's that's the question. Victor Nova, your bass is wicked good. Thank you very much. What's going to make people dance more? This or this? I know that one could hurt your ears more because there's like low mids. Let's have a look where those low mids are. Usually what I do is I don't use OTT. I use OTT to give me a clue of what needs fixing. Like if I can fix it with EQ, I'll give it a good go first before relying on OTT. Like it maybe even like use EQ and then maybe even dynamic EQ, or just change the sound completely, or but then you know you use a mixture of OTT and other like EQ and OTT, but like dialed back a bit. So this sound unpros without OTT, it goes down to like, it ranges from, the lowest is like 150, which and it's really loud. It's like at the top of the scale of a typical drum and bass. Like this is the shape. You want to be within the blue lines really, and it's going up slightly above. CC8, gotta go. Would recommend checking out Sorrow Boy. Oh yeah, Sorrow Boy. Sorrow Boy VST. Free VST plugin chipsets. Ah, pulse wave and noise. That's all you had on the Game Boy. You can adjust the pulse, could you? The pulse width? Yeah, pulse width. 12, and you only had 4 settings. No way. That looks good. Thanks for the recommendation. Someone once plugged a Game Boy into a massive sound system that we put up down in London, and it was so surreal just seeing this guy was standing there with these tunes with a Game Boy, and they were doing mad dubstep tunes, and the bass coming out. It's this big stack that my mate had brought down with a proper huge subwoofer, and he was just playing. He was playing that tune, and it's had the loudest. He was like, "Is that coming from the Game Boy?" It's like, yeah. He'd made so many mad tunes. I wonder what happened to him. This was before like everyone had Insta and stuff. He was the kind of guy who wouldn't have Insta either. He's like just lived in squats, making music on a Game Boy. It's great for Complextro. Nice. Thanks for the recommendation. That's wicked. Download now. Tempted. You know, I usually before downloading something, I think about when I'd use it, because I don't want to just get millions. I used to have millions of plugins. Because you know, in Serum can do, but sometimes having just a simple interface. Like if I wanted to make chiptune, I'd probably go for this. Like if I was doing the chiptune song right now. Don't know. I might try it for inspiration. I'm gonna put it in put it in a particular folder. There, put it in that folder for now. I won't download it now, but thank you, CC8. Sorrow Boy. Is this itch.io? What's itch.io? It's a down your name your price though. Nice. Wicked. Have you been making in Complextro recently? Right, so this sound, yeah, so sometimes things just, if I EQ this, it's not going to be consistent, it's going to be, like, if I just use a normal compressor on it, right, we'll use, should we try, we'll try the stock compressor first. We'll do peak mode. Track sounds amazing. Thank you. See you. Take care. See you soon. It's Friday. It is Friday. It's Friday night. Everyone should be out partying. Not really. I probably wouldn't. I'm not a car anymore. Just get too tired. Okay, so I've attenuated it now. And it's a bit compressed and it's falling within the blue. Let's just turn that ratio up a bit. See what that does. Like I know, kind of know. I know what it does. I know exactly what it does, but sometimes you don't know until you hear it. Okay, that's more tamed now. We're getting -7 on the worst bits, the loudest bits. Okay. Does it sound better? Probably not. Compression doesn't usually sound good in my experience, but EQ does. Let's EQ this, because you'd think that this is such a narrow range that there's no point in applying EQ to it. The solution is usually turn the level down first. Let's look. Where's that big sub there? That shouldn't be there. Because we already have a filter here. Filtering out all the sub. Yeah, of course we do. So let's do a big cut here. Take it all down. That's almost like what the OTT is doing, except the OTT is compressing, so they're like breathing a bit. Paul Point, happy weekend. It is the weekend. Happy weekend to you, Paul. Because OTT sometimes it will squash everything and it'll bring more detail out of the tail, but it reduces the dynamic range. And it is a matter of like, it's like an artistic decision whether to have that. In D&B, most of the time things sound better squashed up to fuck, so they're like complete, you hear everything, but instead of having, so you'll have the tail really loud, but it'll be bounced to audio, so you can cut the tail off, like totally cut it off dead. It's still loud, but you decide how long the tail is after it's been processed. So you get like these really big fat sounds, and I think that's how a lot of D&B is made. But I don't make D&B like that. I know, I probably should. It'd probably help you get that sound. Let's try again with OTT. That's actually, that's just EQ, and this is with OTT. That being turned on is obviously too much. what I mean? They're like almost identical. Like OTT isn't doing much. The end of the signal, wait. There is, so with the reverb, with just the EQ, the tail sounds, the reverb tail sounds like this. It's like a second of tail. With OTT, it sounds like this. So it lasts to the start of the next 4 bars. Do I want that? I don't want that. But that reverb tail is still there, even like, and I'm not controlling it. So maybe I should bounce it all to audio. But yeah, there's a lot of decisions here. Just dialing them out, because at 100% you could still bring out the original sound. Let's try again. Yeah. 65%. So without bouncing it to audio, I should bounce. Maybe that's what I should do. What I used to do is just manually put silence in. Just mute it. Like just like that. Oh, it already says off. I'll mute on. That's weird. Shout outs to your dog Ronco Stonko. Okay, Babylonia. Your dog looks pretty awesome. Ronco Stonko. See, I don't know if I want to change this. Don't know. Before OTT in the chain. I haven't tried ice saturation. Let's try that. Like you say, Ryan. Yeah, I thought it would do that. It's because it's not high pass. I'm screaming a bit though, isn't it? I don't know what I want this to sound like, mate. I wish I knew. The only way I can determine how I want it to sound is just by, this is how I do it. I don't know if it's slow or right or wrong, or whether I ever get it to sound right, is by playing it like out. Well, I'll play on different systems and at different times, you know, because you always feel different. Mid-sign. Thanks, Babylonia. So I put the Club Simulator, turn that on. Are you ready? It's just a reverb. Oops. Whoa, why is that? See, to me, so in my Club Simulator, which is the same reverb patch that I always use and have done for years, and I've now put it in convolution, M convolution MB, which is it's just another convoluter. You could put it in the hybrid reverb. It's the same reflection. It's a Waves IR1 concert hall. But I use a different plugin to do the convolution. It sounds weirdly. It sounds different. Not sure why it does that. What this bass sounds like to me, yeah, is this tune by Ronnie Size. I cannot remember the name of it, and it's a classic tune that no one ever plays anymore, and it's a shame because it's a banger. I have no idea what. I'm not going to be able to find the name of it, am I? I think I had. Wait, let's get virtual DJ. And let's see if this Ronnie Size. Are any of these got 5 stars next to it? Brown Paper Bag Guy's obviously got 5 stars. Oh, I forgot about that tune as well. That's our remix. It's epic. Yeah, oh, you can't hear it. Thanks for pointing that out. To wire this up now so you could hear it, all I've got to do is choose FL Studio Azure and maybe for both of them because it might work otherwise. Apply. You should be able to hear that. Been ages since I heard this. Right. I need to find this because this was a sound. This was a Ronnie Size sound that sounded great in like the whatever year this was. 20 in the noise. Not that. It's jazzy. It's not as jazzy, but it's a classic tune. Clips and Die, number 1. No. Out of the game.
some get confused again. Shit, they feel static. Built up like the dog.
Fashion remix, Fresh Mask remix. Actually, if we arrange it by date, I might find it. No. Bloody hell. I'm not going to be able to find this. It's one of those tunes where you just come across, like, you don't find, it's one of those tunes that you never find, you just accidentally hear it one day, someone shows it and you're like, oh yeah, that tune. I really wish I could show it you though. Because there was a few tunes that used this same bass sound, and it was quite unique. It was just totally unique to Ronnie Size. And I know the sample it's got in it as well. Wait, someone's definitely asked this, right? Someone has asked this, for sure. Ronnie Size, sample, Kraftwerk. I know this much about the tune. Out of breath sample. Here we go. Yeah, that's the similarity. Let's see if I've got it on here. I must have it. I used to get all the Ronnie Size tunes. No? Out of reach. Not out of breath. Let's go to YouTube. "12 years ago. So just about 7 minutes. It's got some beatboxing. It's got beatboxing in the middle. And it just goes, that's 7 minutes of that. And that samples this. Which is a top tune as well. I don't know if you've heard this tune. This is just like, this was like 1983. It's like pioneers of electronic music. Kraftwerk. Tour de France. Basically sounds like that. It's great. Oh yeah, here's another one. So he's used this bass in a few of his tracks. Here is another one. Luckily I found this one. And you compare that to this. It doesn't sound like it at all, but it's definitely got more high-end stuff going in. If we did mute it, if we did take out the high end, or we can let's just ignore the high end. I don't know if why is that? We don't need to do that. Through the club simulator, it reminds me of it anyway. So I want to keep it. Ryan is my short answer. I don't want to fuck with it. I don't want to OTT the sound, and it could be a mistake. It could be, you might be right. It might sound better with an OTT on it. It might sound better with an OTT at 69%. I don't know. But I think I'm going to leave it off for now and do a few more tests in the car. But thanks for your suggestion, because sometimes it does that. Sometimes it shows me that what else is possible with their sound, any sound, or all the sounds, all the basses, and brings out details that you want in there that you definitely like couldn't really hear, and then now you could hear them. It does sound kind of distorted, just the clean sound. It does, because of that fuzziness. But it's actually not distortion. There is a bit of drive, and there is downsample, which is a type of distortion. But without those turned off, it still does this kind of thing. Could just have that. Like, that sounds pretty. There's barely any process. There's just a reverb on that, and it sounds really gravelly, doesn't it? Just having a sync oscillator that changes frequency has its own kind of artifacts, which you can't really see them on there. They're kind of around here. You can see them just a bit there. It's like an aliasing. If you did this on this is where analog synthesizers would probably win. I mean, they're a bit impractical to have like a really big analog. What do you call them? What's it called now? Like a modular, like a big modular setup where one side of your room is a giant monosynth, and you could probably buy a sync. In fact, you could probably do something like a sync oscillator with just a few sine waves or something. I don't know, but if you had a sync oscillator module and you had two of them, because what was one of them sound like? You can still hear that aliasing sound. Oh, it's like, because I think maybe it is just by its nature. A sync oscillator is cramming more, so it's increasing the amount of waves happening within one wave, within one cycle, within one oscillation. If you turn sync up, it increases the amount of oscillations within just one oscillation. So that's obviously going to introduce artifacts, and without this on, which in Serum 1 is called window, it sounds like this. It sounds awful, because before it goes back to zero, some of the wave doesn't quite make, it only gets to there, and then it's got to start the cycle again. So you get this horrible sound. But then if you put warp all the way up, and warp is the same as full window on Serum 1, it kind of fades out the edges, but you still get this kind of artifact. So yeah, no, actually I take back my statement. I think if you did have an analog sync modulator, you would still hear the effects of cramming 1.5, or anything that's not an integer of one full cycle into one full cycle, because it's mathematically doesn't fit, does it? 1.75 does not fit into 1, so you have to fade the edges out. 1.98 doesn't fit into 1, or 0.98 doesn't fit into 1, so you have to, something's got to give. It's either going to crackle, or you can fade the edges out, but you'll still hear something. That's the whole point of sync, is to make it sound weird. I think that's why they put a sync oscillator on like this SH101, which is like an analog synth, a portable kind of analog synth from a Roland SH101 from 80s. It was like the 80s they were manufacturing these things. People still use them today. And it adds this just weird sound, and it became part of like pop music. There's this sound. Now I'm using it to make the weirdest shit possible. Right, let's turn all this back on. So yeah, there is a bit of drive already, and some more of this buzzing is coming from this badly made wavetable that I made. I don't think we can fade the edges. There might be a way of fixing it. Meow meow. Wavetable position. That might sound better. RM to B. RM to B. Probably help if it wasn't doing what it's doing. Let's just, alright, keep it still with this. Turn down velocity and B. That actually, let's go back a bit. Yeah, get to use RM, you know. Makes it go like, makes it go brr. Makes it go brr. Dial-key. I do like RM, but turn down level. Interesting. Can't really tell. It sounds like it's lost. It's obviously lost a lot of the artifacts, and I think that was made up part of the sound. I don't know. Yeah. It is like, it's got the Dalek sound. That's why I call it. I don't know. I'm gonna roll it back. It was nice to try it though. did I roll it back too far? Who knows how far back I can roll this. Yeah. But that was, yeah. So, yeah, I think all that came on to do that in this project anyway was make this sub occur at the top of the wave, start at the top of the wave, which for some reason sounds shit right now when it's solid. Is that because we have kick, trigger, we have sidechains? Yes, it was because the sidechains are making it click. Did we use this? I can't remember. Right. I'm glad I found that tune anyway. I think I'm gonna go. My eyes are really tired. Ryan, I will. Thanks for your suggestions tonight. I will eventually get to Discord and hear whatever you put on there recently. Oh yeah, you put a D&B thing on there. I'll get on that. What's this then? Oh, it's Galaxy. It's a Galaxy. It's a Galaxy. Yeah, right. Yeah, oh my gosh. Too tired to carry on. Take it easy, Ryan. Thanks for watching. Thanks everyone for tuning in tonight. Cheers.